Today's sponsor is Ian's Display Accessories, the best figure stands for Marvel Legends, GIJoe Classifieds, and Star Wars Black Series. And TGC Customs, offering 6-inch versions of iconic 3 3/4 inch action figure weapons and accessories. Hello and welcome to a special episode of Codename New202. Hi, I'm your presenter, Shibu Are You. I don't do as much action figures as I do comics, but in this case, I felt that compelled to it because I don't actually look at Marvel. I've done Star Wars a lot. I've done, of course, G.I. Joe Classifieds, but really when it comes to Marvel Legends, nothing has really caught my eye or attention that, makes me stop at the aisle and say, whoa, whoa, whoa. Last week, I did my beginning of September comic book pickups where I featured the iconic Frank Miller Wolverine story, which is, kind of presenting alternatives once, that Hulk 181 is out of the question. And that's for a lot of people. I mean, for a lot of us, we have mortgages, car payments, stuff like that. I mean, fuck that, like, it's just like, all right, but we still can have fun and find alternative books for this wonderful, iconic character. And one of the ones I've talked about was Hulk 182, which is Wolverine's third appearance, really undervalued. And these are, again, wonderful alternatives to Hulk 181. Of course, it would be great to get that, but at this point, I mean, it's stupid. So, the reason why I want to do this video is because I recently saw and picked up the Marvel Legends Wolverine action figure. I think this is based on the 1997. Again, I know there's people that are dedicated to doing the Marvel Legends series. And of course, by all means, watch them. They're more knowledgeable than me. They'll probably tell you, oh, this was from episode whatever. And that's cool. I mean, I never want to step on another person's toes and their knowledge, because that would be like, that would be wrong. But just for us normal Gen Xers and fans, I thought this was a great figure. And I've passed this like 3 4 times because remember, I live in Bumblefuck, Florida, like an hour and a half away from Orlando and West Palm Beach. So really you have to know where it's like not a tourist place. So it's like real Florida, with not all that tourist bullshit that, I hate. Sorry, tourists, but at the same time, so when you see something, you could pass it and think about it. You don't have to worry about someone scooping it up right away, which is what I like. So I definitely saw this. I looked at the box art and I'm like, you know what? I have to pick this shit up because, I just picked up that Wolverine issue #1. I got that Hulk 182, and this will look perfect with that. So let's take a deep dive and look at this wonderful figure. And finally, if you're going to do a Marvel Legends, why not do it right? Start off right. So let's take a look at this figure. All right, so before we dive in and look at this figure, I have to point out what game is playing in the background. And this time we're sticking with PlayStation 2. And just to let people know, there's a Dreamcast, a original Sega, and an Xbox out here. But outside in the other room, there's a GameCube, Wii, N64, PS1. So before I got into that, I was doing a lot of retro gaming. But in this room, I just had these 4 consoles. So what's playing in the PlayStation 2 is SOCOM #2. SOCOM #1 was such a big hit. SOCOM #2, again, this is all before Call of Duty and all that other stuff. Again, this is a great game. And I think because of Wolverine's background, it's kind of fitting because he was a soldier. And, we all know the myth and legend of Wolverine. So it kind of segues to what we're about to do pretty nicely. So here we go. Alrighty, so here we have the Wolverine X-Men packaging. And boy, it looks really nice. I like the side art on it. Again, following the same template as GIJoe Classifieds, Star Wars Black Series, just that typical Hasbro format for the 6-inch scale. There's no. It's funny, for all of these lines, it's pretty much the same formula that they're using, and hey, it works. Whatever. I know they're going to be doing away with the plastic, and I've seen some images of the plastic-free packaging, and inside is just basically cardboard. So enjoy these while you can, ladies and gentlemen, because these are going to be gone in a few years or a year or so. So just appreciate that. But again, this is pretty much this year, issued out this year. It's not a. I know there's been so many different variations of Wolverines in the Marvel Legends, and even I know that. So that's nothing new. What I was particularly interested in this figure is, if you look at his animanium claws, and we'll get a closer look when I take it out of the package, but it's like a red hot, like, I guess suddenly resurrected and bearing superheated adamantium claws. Once again, Wolverine must fight to reclaim his freedom and his mind. Da, 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 da. That's pretty good. And look, his muscles are almost big as mine, so there you go. All right, so let's get this thing open. And once again, we're going to be utilizing Ian's display accessories. I've been promoting these for the GIJoe Classifieds. You guys have seen them with the Star Wars Black Series, and these work just as well with the Marvel Legends. So if you haven't, definitely head over to Ian's display stands and pick up a set of figure stands for yourself. Alrighty, so here we have him out of the packaging, and the important thing to also remember, and I think fans know this, is that Wolverine is tiny. I mean, unfortunately, we have the Jackman, whatever the fuck you want to call him, but we have his rendition, and that's not really accurate. He's not really 6 feet or whatever. He's actually, he's like 5 something. So he's a really tiny dude. And just to show you, this is the GI Joe Cobra officer. So, like, putting him next to him, there is a huge there's a height difference, like, between, and that is accurate. And then with Black Widow is the same thing. He is actually smaller than a human female. So he's a tiny dude. But again, let's look at the face sculpt and articulation. Again, classic Wolverine. This is one of the reasons why I kind of targeted this one. You know, After just picking up that Frank Miller issue #1, I think that, this will look nice with those, with this collection of comics that are devoted to Wolverine. Like his arms, his biceps, his tries are really prominent in this. I like that. That's pretty nice. I mean, he's ripped. That's the thing about Wolverine. He's like one of those, like, little bodybuilders that you see the gym, like, I'm not a huge dude either, and I'm not saying that I'm jacked, but like, I'm built, like, I'm healthy, I would say that. But there's a point where you don't want to lift anymore because you're going to look like Wolverine, and you want to keep that lean look and not look like, like a dwarf, so that's the one thing. But again, this figure is phenomenal. I love the colors. The coloring is nice. And look, Ian's display stands just fit perfectly with this. So it looks good. If you see this figure, I definitely think, even if you're not like a huge Marvel Legends fan like me, I think this would be a great addition to any collector. I know there's other versions of Wolverine, and I'm sure that the people that are more geared to this line will say otherwise or point you in a different direction. But hey, if you see this and it's available, by all means, pick it up. I'm really happy with this one. So that does it for this episode of Codename New to Viewer 2. Thank you for taking this short trip and looking at this wonderful figure. Stay tuned. We're actually going to have a special. I'm going to be working on this Mount Olympus comics. So if that sounds weird to you, boy, do I have a story for you? So that's going to be a fun episode. So stay tuned for that. Also, G.I. Joe recap of 296 is coming up. So we got a lot of stuff. So if you're new, please subscribe and stay with us. We look forward to hearing your comments. And all this is just for fun. So this is GIJoe, are you? We'll see you next time.